I've always felt like the weird girl, and I know that sounds cringe. It's fine. I realize that it has pick me energy. I realize that it has, sorry, ignore my hot Cheeto hands. I ate hot Cheetos last night for the first time in like months because they're not good for you at all. And so I literally take months in between. And I ate them last night, and I always eat them with lemon, and so it stains my fingers. Leave me alone. Just ignore them. Okay. Anyways, I realized like how it comes out, like fishing for compliment, whatever. This is something that I have kind of worked through in my life. It started off with frustration and then awareness and then acceptance. And this is not some sob story. It's more like me realizing finally there's a bug. Oh, did y'all see that? It's mostly me realizing that I'm actually an introvert. And I feel like people that, like, everyone is weird, right? Like, everyone is quirky, everyone is eccentric. There's not one standard of person, right? Like, everyone is a weird individual because we're all unique. So it's like, why do I feel this way? Weird people that are extroverted don't feel that they're weird. They're just extroverted. And whatever they say, whatever they do, it's not even a thing for them. Like, they don't even consider themselves weird because extroverted people just have that kind of they get their energy from being extroverted, right? Like, that's the whole thing about it. Like, they like it, and so it's not their weirdness, it's seen as a power rather than a weakness, I guess what I'm trying to say. And for all of my life I have felt like just like an outcast, like a weirdo, and started very young, and I didn't really understand what it was. But as I grew into high school, I would find like my group, my tribe, and then stick to those people. And within that group, like, I would feel extroverted. But it's like, am I both? I don't know. I guess I'm still trying to figure that out, but it was kind of hard for me to like label myself as an introvert when I've always been very outspoken. And like, I would perform in school and like sing and do shows, and no fear in that. And yet inside I felt like I could only properly be myself around my tribe and my group of people. And that's because I had this fear of not being accepted, of my quirkiness not being accepted by other people. And this really manifested my last couple years of high school, because I dated this guy who was really abusive, and he isolated me from my friends and kind of put me into his own group of friends that would just like drink all the time and just like do whatever it is that they did. And I kind of isolated from my tribe a little bit and joined his tribe. And it kind of ended up with me feeling so weird around them, because, and like, they would tell me all the time, like, oh, Anna, like you're the weird one in this group. Or this one guy who was my ex's friend, at one point he told me, I really don't understand why you're with him. Like, you're different. And it's not, and when I say this, I'm not saying like, oh, like, I'm so different, like, you're so different, Anna. Like, it wasn't like that. It's just like different in the context of the people that I was around. I was always very like into nature and like just the metaphysical, all the witchcraft stuff, and they're more so like not into spirituality and into just drinking, I guess. That's why I meant like different. It's just different from them. And yeah, I think that's really what led me into the whole starseed thing. And if you don't know about the starseed thing, it's basically like um, the belief that your soul is reincarnated from another place in the universe, another planet, you're an alien basically, and you have come to this earth to fulfill your soul's purpose. So that's where the indigo children come from, that's where the whole rainbow crystal children come from, and it's always people that have been labeled just really smart from a young age and have all of these artistic gifts, the gift of empathy as well, like all these things. And um you really, like, now obviously it sounds really dumb and crazy, like wow, I really believed I was a star seed, but at the time, now looking outside, from the outside looking in, I can totally see why people fall into this stuff, because Satan preys on the lonely, he preys on the outcast, he preys on those that feel misunderstood. And if you Google, like, I remember just being so young, and this is a story of so many people that have my similar testimony, Googling like, why do I feel so different? Like, why don't I feel understood? And you go into the whole spiritual thing where, oh, you're actually an old soul reincarnated, like all of these things, and it really feeds into that soul wound that craves community, that craves to be understood. And I wanted that, like, it felt like I was part of a bigger thing. And I might talk about the whole starseed thing in depth in the future, because it's a whole thing and it's really deep and scary. But the reason I was bringing this up was because I always felt very alienated, and I think part of the reason why I felt that way is because I did have an introverted part of me that just craved to be understood despite the things that I perceived as weird. And I think part of that is why I was drawn to social media, because it's actually weird, because you would think that social media is all about, like, the extroverted people thrive on it, like the people that want to be heard and want to be seen and perceived and all that, like people that want to be stars and everything. And that's really not my intention in it. I realized, like, I just always tried to self-analyze and just have self-awareness, and I realized it's just this need of just wanting to come out of my circle of, like, these are the people that know me, like my husband, my friends, and understanding that there are other people out there that feel the same way that I do, that probably are a lot like me, and wanting to find them and making them feel less alone. I used to post a lot of stuff on social media it was just like weird stuff, me being like silly in front of the camera for my friends. And I just remember when I first started posting those videos, like, I felt so free, and I never realized that it was because I wanted to reach people that felt like me. And I think that was the point. That was the entire point of me feeling like I have always taken a different path from, I guess, girls my age. And I would always get frustrated because I would see people my age. I'm so sweaty, guys, sorry, I'm like glowing. I would see girls my age doing whatever it is that they were doing, and I had no attraction to that. College, for example, I was in the top 10% of my class. I could have gone anywhere for school, and then, but like the thought of doing college, the way that I saw it done, like on TV, whatever, like that was the goal for most people. And like for me, it really put me off and felt like it would take me away from my path of spirituality that I was in. It was just not vibrational to the way that I thought I was supposed to go. And like I would see all these girls doing that. Oh my gosh, it's a cardinal. Did y'all see? I don't think so. doing life as like a teenager and like early adult, it was not attractive to me. Even right down to like having like corporate jobs and things like that, it was just not. And I would always feel like something was wrong with me because I felt like I was still around people that were like that. Even if they were my friends, like I was still around friends that, yeah, they knew me and I felt safe in them, but they were still pursuing that lifestyle. And it just made me feel so disconnected from people. And as I've gotten older, I've realized like I am not weird. I'm just a person. And even if I am, everyone is weird. Everyone is different in their own way. And although that can be isolating, you're not doomed. You will find someone, whether it be a romantic partner or a friend, a platonic friendship that really gets you and understands you. And even if you don't, you have Jesus. You have your maker that made you so fearfully and wonderfully made. And all of the things that you feel are weird are just things that he celebrates about you. And yeah, my intentions with that was maybe to encourage you to maybe find some familiarity with me and relatability, as far as, you know, not saying that you have to be just like me, but just this feeling of feeling like one out of a million, but not in the good way. um, there is a space for you. There is a calling for you. There is a purpose for your eccentricities and the things that you may not necessarily love about yourself. God loves. Um, whether it be aspects of your personality or your likes or dislikes, there is not a model person of who we are meant to be like. We're all so different, and that's okay. And maybe you've been trying to fit into this extroverted box all of your life and you're actually an introvert, and that's what I'm still trying to figure out as I enter into my 30s. Well, I'm not 30 yet, but I soon will be. And I just feel like this is a time where you're figuring yourself out for the first time in your life. So yeah, it's kind of just like a visual diary, like a little diary rant. I'll see you guys later.